Now in our last outing with the Drift Subaru, we managed to pop a drive shaft as usual, and we didn't even manage half a lap, which is just standard at this point. So the car has been lying there ever since. Drive shaft off, hub shattered, bearing destroyed. It's seen better days. The core of the Subaru's problem is this rear wheel area. The drive shaft snapped, like it often does. First lap of Crail, did a drive shaft, and then the snapped stub shredded out the inside of the wheel bearing. There's one big nut that caps on the end of the drive shaft, but when the drive shaft snapped, that drive shaft was able to pop in and out, and it shredded the wheel bearing and the hub and some of the rear disc and the handbrake. And so this car has been sitting here ever since. And so I needed something to cheer myself up, because it's winter and it's a bit cold, and I didn't really want to fix this car. But I've always thought it would be very cool to buy some rusty old scrap with a giant engine and rear wheel drive and take it on track days. Unfortunately, we are now in a place where we can store such a vehicle and fix it and repair it, and we've got trailers and spare tyres and so on. So I set the boys a challenge. Find me a rear wheel drive car with as big an engine as possible and spend no less than £1,500. Now that's quite a challenge, because at the moment, any old rusty garbage seems like it's £4 at the moment. So if you want something interesting, it tends to be expensive. But they have scoured Gumtree, eBay, Facebook, Craigslist. We don't have Craigslist in this country, that's a lie. They have scoured the internet and they have found I give you the 4-litre XJ8. It's a 2001. It has just 70,000 miles, full service history, no back brakes, and I spent £500. Formerly owned by two gentlemen who, well, not two gentlemen, that makes them sound like a couple, but first guy bought this as a weekend car so that he could do road trips with his family, and then another guy bought it as a weekend car to do road trips with his family. So it's luxurious, it's got the long range fuel tank, it has the right engine. It's actually, bodywork wise, it's in pretty good condition. There's a few nicks and dings, but there's no major rust. It's got some algae growing because it's been stored outside for the last year. No one has nicked the Jaguar badge, it's still here. But there it is. That is what you can buy if you search hard enough. That is £500 worth of V8 Jaguar. So Dave, this is Mrs. Me Jag. I'd like to invite you to have a seat and tell me what you think of its comfort levels and equipment.
Still good?
Yep, yep.
It's actually quite a lot of room in here, I mean.
Spacious.
It's spacious. There's still room behind me as well.
There's a bag of interior trim as well. The interior's in good nick here. Someone might actually want this.
You never know.
It's a piece of dashboard missing for some reason.
So the airbag's easy to take out.
Yeah, we'll need to do that. Yeah, that was us.
That's better.
Oh. Look at that radio. That is... That's for ordering business. It's got a sport button.
It does.
Don't know what that's for. Sport button and rev gauge?
Rev equals something?
Don't know.
Pass.
When you put it in drive, it does kind of slips out a little bit.
Oh.
So that might be a problem for a track.
Track day one of.
Oh, security information.
I need a scraper.
David, there you go. Have a scraper.
It's a piston bully scraper.
Oh, it's like a Jaguar wallet from a Jag.
Seems it's winter now.
And these are the lambda sensors, which are for the cats, which are absent. Some door trims. That is... Oh, it's the electric aerial. That means there's two of these, because there's another one dumped in the warehouse.
Did you see it's got a track mode button? Oh, it's got track.
Traction
track,
off.
Track. Just track.
Just track, not track off.
Track off.
Track off is probably
That's
the problem.
where it's going.
And there's an automatic cleaning function there as well.
I see Valley,
There's
yeah.
Valley, and well, I think you have to have the ignition on, and then it'll clean the car for you.
It beeps very quietly if you press it.
Is that headline saggy, or is it just malformed?
Oh no, she's saggy.
Oh,
She's got that horrible sag that makes me queasy.
pull armrest up, and then if you drop it down quite exuberantly, it then self-serves you some cup holders.
Automatic cup hole launcher.
Automatic cup hole launcher. And the handbrake has almost no travel in it whatsoever. Off, on.
Oh, wow.
Off, on.
That's like the way my dad used to do it for MOTs. 3 clicks. Just
3 clicks and this thing would park on a 45-degree slope.
Look at
Strong enough. Not strong enough for your handbrake, boss. Parking tickets. There's no books or anything in this one. How's that armrest looking? I'm getting in. I'm coming.
very soft, nice glasses holder.
For me, rear legroom is a problem, but I think these are also set. These seats, these are in fat guy mode.
Oh.
Look how tilted back they are. They are in full fat person recline.
Luxure.
Someone's had the alarm sensor out as well. I wonder if that's because of problems or because it's just fallen off.
Just sagged out.
I also don't know why all of the door trims are off. I wonder if someone has been partway through braking this car
and then gave up on life.
And then gave up on it and purchased it. What do you think of the Jag? I think it used to be beautiful. It's a lot of car for 500 quid. Do you like the sound?
I did like the sound.
And Big Dave's won a prize. He has won a scraper because he needs a scraper, so he's got a scraper now. Straight into the pickup. Best day ever.
How am I going to put my fingers in my ears and film at the same time? I'll just power through. Your twinkly lights are still twinkling.
Yeah, I think it might need to gather electricity before we take it on track. People on the internet say I have bought the cheapest V8 in the country, and then they spent like £1,500 or £2,000. However, I have done it. I have found the cheapest V8 on the internet with the correct 4-litre V8 petrol engine, delivering 290 horsepower and 290 pounds-feet of torque, or foot-pounds, or I think it's like 550 newton meters, something like that, of torque. What they've managed to do is find a car that says, I have class, I enjoy luxury, I have more money than Baytech, and also I have a friend who I'd like to give a lot of mechanical work to and not pay him. It is 12 yards long, surprisingly lightweight, it's 1,700 kilograms. I thought for sure it would be rocking 2 and a bit tons, but at only 1,700 kilograms, with a fully loaded interior, it is hideously filthy, but it is dripping in chrome. In America, they call this the executive model. Well, if we talk about some good things, first of all, it was cheap. The tires are good quality, it is lovely smelling inside, and it has tons of room. Which means, even with the helmet on, and the seat at maximum height, you still have plenty of room to be thrown around. If you really want to test the limits of headroom, you get yourself a proper chauffeur's top hat. Other things that are good news apart from the headroom, if you have to carry a plus-size passenger, someone like a Stephen McConnell in the off-season, you could still fit him in the passenger seat. You wouldn't even need a seatbelt extender, because these are fully equipped for the girthiest of gentlemen. But now, on to the bad bits. It has a fairly meaningful coolant leak. Doesn't matter how much water we pour in, it still drips out. It has an open diff at the rear, which is a bit of a problem, and it is way too busy in there for us to be able to weld that diff. We'd have to remove most of the rear subframe, and we don't really want to do that for this junkyard track car. The underside is really, really rusty. This must have been stored down at the coast somewhere. The brakes are pretty badly corroded everywhere, and the rear brakes are completely disconnected. No oil leaks that we can see. The biggest problem is the rust on the chassis. This would never pass an MOT. And I did fall victim to some lies on the internet that made me believe that this was going to be aluminium, but with my magnet, that's absolutely steel. That's absolutely steel. Steel, steel, steel. You get the idea. More bad things. The suspension is really, really tired. Even the rust has rust. The exhausts are completely missing. So someone's obviously tried to have the catalytic converters out of it to sell them for scrap. They were probably worth as much as the car was. So I understand. That means we need to fabricate something up. It sounds apocalyptically loud. That's not really track-worthy. Fortunately, I have already been on eBay. The core of it will be this silencer will sit in place where the old catalytic converter was. And then this tiny little side exit will go around there. Although, I'll be kind and turn the tip down. There's one other slight problem with it, and that's with the wheel fitment. The wheel fittings here, in terms of the bolt pattern, there were only 2 cars which had this particular wheel fitment, and that's going to make it difficult to buy spare wheels. There was this one, the XJ8, and the XJ6 on the same platform. Or the XJR, I guess. But those wheels were wider. So buying spare wheels is basically not going to be an option because it's £800 for a set of knackered old alloys that fit this car. So we'll just have to use the tyres that are on it and then go home when the tyres are done. Well, the next steps here are going to be reconnecting the rear brakes, stripping out the interior. Maybe we'll put some oil in the engine and we'll just take it to the track. Admittedly, I already spent £200 on those exhaust parts, but we can't go on track without them. So I think this will be great fun, and essentially, it's another spare car, because at the moment we can't be trusted to keep cars track-worthy, because the Subaru is broken, the smart car is broken, the Cabaroo is broken, but the Jag is currently broken as well, but we'll fix it. So the idea was, spend as little money as possible and have a spare track car, keep it rough and ready, don't get too fancy with it, and then when we're on a track day and we have a spare trailer or something, we can just chuck that on and anyone can have a go at it and it's not going to be a big problem. So that's the plan. Try and get it track worthy again. It's never going to be fast, it will make a great noise, but we just wanted another fun, easy-going car so that if one of the other vehicles is broken, we can take another slightly less broken one with us. Anyway, if you have ideas about what we can do to improve that thing, please let us know, because there isn't a great aftermarket scene for the Jag XJ8, and I'm not surprised because hardly anyone is buying these things. But as the prices come down now, and if, like us, you don't care if it has an MOT or not, you can grab a bargain. XJ8 track car. What a terrible and brilliant idea. More videos to come, because this thing will need a bit of work, and then we'll take it for some of the most comfortable track days the UK has ever seen. I'll follow up with another video where we get an in-depth look underneath it and we'll show you all the rust and the problems that we've found so far. Thank you for watching, take care everyone, make good decisions, and we'll see you in another video.